Go, Darwin. Darwin, heel. As a follow-up to my last discussion, here's a dog, nicely trained, using a gentle leader. In this case, I'm using what is called a traffic lead. I use a traffic lead sometimes when I would take a dog. Maybe I'm just going to take him downtown, for instance, and I don't have any intentions necessarily of letting him meet other dogs or something like that. And or I may carry a 6-foot leash. Darwin, sit. Good boy. Down. All the way. Good. Stay. I carry a 6-foot leash in my bag, and I switch off leashes so that I can at least be equipped to make different decisions about what I'm going to do with my dog. The good thing about a traffic lead, though, is if I were to take him into PetSmart, for instance, instead of giving, well, some people come in there with dogs on retractable leashes and they have no business, much less being in there sometimes with their dogs, much less have them on a retractable leash. These leashes right here, at least, and coupled with a gentle leader, at least give that particular dog owner the chance of being successful. Darwin, let's go. Being successful in taking their dog into that environment. Because when you're working with the dog, you certainly want to think about setting the dog up to be successful. And if I'm training a dog who's pulling, then I'm definitely going to, especially if it's already an adult dog, I'm going to definitely try to convince the owner, and I mean convince because some owners are very turned off by them. They'd rather stick with choke collars, prong collars, or use a shock collar trainer. But if I can get somebody to use a gentle leader and work with the dog like this, look at what I get. And I can have this dog do this down at Island Park here in downtown Sarasota, just like this. He doesn't mind using the gentle leader. Some dogs take a little bit of getting used to them, but that often is impeded by the owner themselves because they see their dog thrashing around or rejecting the gentle leader, or maybe some of them even look like they're shutting down. Darwin, down. Good example. Sit and down. Good. That's a good example right there of if you're training a dog and you're in the initial stages of being able to use a tool to still get them to give you the behavior that you're trying to teach them. Good boy, stay. Now I don't have any treats on me because if you've seen my previous videos, you know that this dog is a little bit too treat motivated and it removes his ability to learn to focus on me. Stay. Good boy. Sit. But going back to owners who reject using gentle leaders over the other types of collars or equipment, it's just foolish because you're going to affect the relationship you're going to have with your dog. Rather than have a dog who wants to be around you, they're actually going to be fearful of you. Why? Darwin, come here. Because you've used punishment in order to train them. Down, sit. When you saw me use the gentle leader along with the traffic lead, stay, to correct his non-compliance with a cue, doing something like that certainly didn't put fear in the dog. But when you're using choke collars or prong collars or shock collars, you are inflicting pain on the dog when you make corrections. And pain, stay, can easily be associated with sitting in a dentist office and listening. Come back around. Sit. Stay. Sitting in the dentist office, listening to the drill before it's your time. It's going to just naturally change the chemistry in your body. You're going to be already building up fear, and that's exactly what happens to dogs. Down, all the way. That's exactly what the dog's state of mind is chemically when you're working with them, or even when you're around them. There was actually a study done over in Europe where the scientist looked at dogs that were being trained for canine work. All of the dogs were used, were being trained by using shock collars. But what they found, all the way, what they found was even when the dog was in a relaxed environment like a park, Darwin, down, all the way, the dogs, even in what should be a relaxed environment like a park, but still in the presence of their handler, the dogs still showed signs of being stressed and or fear. If you don't know what signs are or indications that a dog has a conflict with what you're trying to teach them or has a fear, you need to understand the signals that they're giving you. If you don't know, there are great books out there that will teach you. But you must pay attention down to the body language and the facial expressions, the ear position, the tail position of the dog that you're working with. Good boy. Sit. Stand. Bow. Sit. Bow. Now in that case, I'm trying to go from sit to bow. Sit. Bow. But I need him to stand up. Darwin. Bow. Well, I lost him because he got distracted. It's difficult to teach a dog to stand up to go into a bow, which you have to do. Down. Sit. Bow. Good. So what I'm doing, good boy, what I'm doing in this instance is I'm using my stand cue. I'm not giving the cue, I'm just giving the visual cue. That gets him to stand up, and I say the word bow. Very simple. And eventually, by repeatedly doing that, eventually I'll be able to just say bow. He'll get up from down and sit, because of course I'll work in all positions to get him to move through every type of position that I want this dog to learn to be in. Like sit, down, sit, stand, bow. Wrong, Darwin. Bow. Good. And come around. Good boy. Come around. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come around. Good job. Okay. Oops, don't have any treats on me. Okay, thank you. There you go. Find them.